Pelaksanaan pengajaran dan pembelajaran sains dan matematik dalam bahasa Inggeris PPSMI menyebabkan kemunduran yang ketara dalam subjek sains dan matematik. Ia sekaligus merugikan negara dalam konteks pembangunan modal insan.
Assalamualaikum and hello everyone. Today is our group to be presenting on our topic, which is current issues on streaming and reintroductions of PPSMI. I hope all of you are in a good condition and happy voting on this Saturday. First of all, I will introduce our team members, which is we have first presenter is Rafika Atira from ED242 8B, second presenter Khairul Nizam from ED242 88, and third presenter is Siti Aisha, which is myself from ED242 88, and the last presenter we have Alia Zarifa from ED242 88.
Hi, Assalamualaikum and good morning. My name is Rafika Atira binti Muhammad Rizwan. I will present about PPSMI, Pengajaran dan Pembelajaran Sains dan Matematik dalam Bahasa Inggeris. What is PPSMI? Have you ever heard about this term? PPSMI is Pengajaran dan Pembelajaran Sains dan Matematik dalam Bahasa Inggeris. The teaching and learning of science and mathematics in English aims to increase students' proficiency with the English language in region primary and secondary schools. English is used to teach the science and mathematics subjects instead of the previous Malay medium. Next is background of PPSMI. Who is introduced this policy? This policy was introduced by our fourth Prime Minister of Malaysia, Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad. PPSMI was introduced in 2003. PPSMI has been the focus of discussion among academics, politicians, and the general public alike, which culminated in the announcement of the education policies reversal in 2012 by Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin, the Deputy Prime Minister. And then the launched Dual Language Program (DLP) was established after PPSMI was abolished. History of PPSMI. Now let's know and understand more about PPSMI. PPSMI was established as a policy by the Malaysian government as a result of the cabinet meeting that took place on 19 July 2002 during the time in charge of Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad, the fourth Prime Minister. The policy will be implemented in phases starting with the 2003 school year, highlighted by all Year 1 students in primary education levels and Form 1 students in secondary education levels according to the Malaysian Ministry of Education. Then, in 2007, PPSMI was fully implemented for all secondary students and in 2008 for all primary students. Objective of PPSMI. The government's concern for the nation's human capital development toward achieving the standard of a developed country, as well as an early effort to compete in the age of globalization, lead to the decision to switch the teaching and learning of science and mathematics from the Malay language to English. A country's progress and development are based on the study of science and mathematics, which also play a key role in these areas. These two fields experience a high rate of innovation and discovery, and English is the language of choice for information access. Due to the fact that the majority of the sources are available in English, the policy decision to implement PPSMI was made to ensure students' proficiency in science and mathematics. Additionally, it is hoped that PPSMI's introduction will help students' language proficiency to improve. Implementation of PPSMI. PPSMI was implemented for the 2003 school session students enrolling in Year 1 and Form 1 in primary and secondary school respectively. Other grade levels are unaffected, and they continue to study mathematics and science in their mother tongue. PPSMI learning materials were made available in the form of package. For example, 1. Textbook. Textbooks were given to students as the basic source for learning on concepts and skills in science and mathematics. Second, activity books. Given as supplementary material for students to practice their understanding of concepts learned from textbooks. This buku latihan activity were provided for students of Year 1 only. Number 3. Teacher's Guide. Material prepared for teachers as reference and guide to plan and implement effective teaching of the science and mathematics. And lastly, Science Practical Book. It was published to ensure that science are taught not only theory but also in science. That's all from me. Now I will pass to the next presenter, Khairul Nizam.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Khairul Nizam Bechikamode. So today I'm going to present about what are the impact of PPSMI to students, teachers, and also the media. The implementation of problem and issues. Teachers, inefficient in English proficiency could cause trouble for students' understanding in class. The percentage of teachers' successfulness teaching in English for subject science and mathematics are only in 25%. Teachers that use English language in teaching are less in class. The person in charge in preparing the exam paper constantly having a difficulty in providing dual language question paper. Resources could be gone to waste, such as the module book, learning material, and training for teachers to improve their speaking in English. The effectiveness of teaching will be based on the preparedness and the skill of the teacher before the execution of teaching and learning. So, what are students thinking about this PPSMI? Students from UKM are all more likely to learn science and mathematics courses in Malay language. The students believe it would be less effective if the teaching and learning in English language, with Malay language as a medium of instruction in class is much higher compared to English language. This is the achievement of UPSR, PMR, and SPM for both rural and urban areas. Students can understand the lesson better in their daily language because it is their mother tongue compared to their early stage of schooling. So, these are the analysis statistics from the 2009 UPSR for both science and mathematics, which is from students that are learning mathematics and science in English language. The first one is the performance of science subject in UPSR in 2009. A decrease from 85.1% to 82.5% from urban school. A decrease from 83.2% to 79.7% from rural school. The performance of mathematics subject in UPSR 2009 a decrease from 84.8% to 80.9%. For urban school, a decrease from 80.9% to 77.0% for rural school. we can see that the decrease from this percentage or this analysis statistic, we can see that students are more likely learn in Malay language rather than English language to answer their question or learn in subject such as science and mathematics. So these are the perception of PPSMI from three different types of groups, which is the first one is from students. Students agree that the readiness to learn mathematics subject in English are not in good position. Students agree that learning mathematics subject in Malay language would be a lot easier. For the teachers who are having a low skills on teaching math using English language. Students' lack of mastering English language affecting students' understanding in math lesson while the teacher is teaching them in English. For the parents hoping that the policy will not be a short term. It can help make the transition from primary school to working life easier for the students. So, what are the issues on media? The situation becomes difficult and worse as most of the Malay parents send their children to national school, while Chinese believe that a strong foundation in Mandarin is important, prefer the vernacular schools. For the gerakan memasukkan PPSMI, perceive that move will disturb the younger generation in learning process of the two subjects for the mathematics subject and also science subject.
Assalamualaikum and hello everyone. My name is Siti Aisyah binti Nur Jamal Azmal and I'm from class 824288, and today for my part there will be two subtopics, which is first why PPSMI was abolished, and second subtopic is the effect of PPSMI was abolished, which I will elaborate it later. Okay, now let's move on with the first topic, which is why PPSMI was abolished. First thing first, I would like to ask every one of you in this class, does anyone know what is the meaning of abolish? Okay, abolish is to put an end towards a system, a practice, or for institution. For example, the tax was abolished in 1977. You got it? Okay, let's go back to our topic, which is why PPSMI was abolished. I'm pretty sure that most of us did not agree with that abolishment, since we learned science and mathematics in English since we were in primary schools, right? And did you guys ever wonder on why this policy was abolished? Now, let me elaborate more on why PPSMI policies was abolished. The first reason why PPSMI was abolished is to be seen that it is actually impede students' performance. There was a study that was conducted that PPSMI hampered students' ability to understand mathematics and science concepts, and the result is these two subjects are shown to be in poor performance. Okay, are you guys still with me? Now let's move on to the second reason, which is learning math and science in English is challenging for students in Malaysia. There was a study made by students, Faculty of Education in University Perguruan Sultan Idris, UPSI, revealed that 70% of Form 2 students find that it is difficult to learn mathematics and science in English. The third reason is students have poor command in English. There are some students from the rural area who feel that both subjects, which is science and mathematics, due to their poor command in English. This is because some of them use Bahasa Melayu as their first language when they are communicating with their family members at their home. Hence, some of them are lack in exposing English language. Actually, these 3 points are quite similar with each other. Most of the students are fell victim in learning mathematics and science in English as they need to struggle to understand the concept that they need to learn. The last reason is teachers are lack in mastering English language. I am not saying that all educators and teachers are having problem with dealing English language, but there are a few educators and teachers have the problem and lack in delivering information in English for their students' understanding. As educators and teachers, it is our responsibility to be mentally and physically prepared to convey knowledge and information in English at a level that is the simplest for people to comprehend. Only then they will be able to absorb and retain the knowledge that has been imparted by the teachers. So, are you guys still here with me on our beautiful morning classes? Alright, so let's move on to the effect of PPSMI was abolishment. So, the first effect of PPSMI abolishment is graduates' inability to speak English fluently. There is major concern among the higher government officials and employees on graduates' inability to speak English fluently. This problem also said to be contributing factor to the unemployment people. The concern arises when it is seen that the graduates are unable to speak well in English. The government will lose a lot of money as a result of the second effect because it will damage the government itself. The recognition of PPSMI has resulted in significant financial losses for the government. This is because when the PPSMI was eliminated, a sizable amount of money was set aside for this initiative. All textbook and references materials linked to the education must be translated back into Bahasa Melayu. And for the last effect of PPSMI is the competitiveness productivity in the future will become harder. This is because the effort to produce competitive on the next generation in this era showed that the awareness in learning English as the main foundation in the educational system. Hence, it is crystal clear that Malaysian students in commanding of English language has been dropped off dramatically since 1970. Thus, some people have been unemployed for a long time. This circumstance is meant to portray the importance of the English language that should not be taken lightly by everyone in our country.
Assalamualaikum and good morning everyone. My name is Alia Zarifa binti Zainal Abidin and I'm from ED 2428A. I will continue the last part of this presentation and the title are Advantage and Disadvantage of PPSMI. I'm sure that all of you already know about PPSMI after you guys hear it from the other presenter, right? Let's dig into the benefits and downside of PPSMI. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope all of you can lend me your ears. The advantage of PPSMI are to help improve English proficiency among the students. At the first place, it is the reason of PPSMI has been introduced. Do you remember back when we are at the primary school, the English subject only be taught 2 times a week? For example, we will have the first English class on Monday and the next second class will be on Thursday. It will increase the Rather than depends only English language, PPMSI can help to improve their English proficiency as they study mathematics and science in English too. It will increase the students' proficiency in English language. Can all of you think what happens if the student only learn the English language through the subject itself and not only learn it through PPMSI? Okay. The second advantage of PPMSI is can help the students if they go study or travel abroad. At the international level, English is used as the medium of communication with other people. They can talk easily as the intermediate language to communicate with other people there. Lastly, the last advantage that PPSMI gives to students is that it can generate highly competitive students. Students will compete positively with each of them to get flying colors in their examination. Next, I will talk about the advantage of PPSMI to our country. PPSMI will give opportunity to our country to stand on the same par with other developed countries comparatively. Furthermore, PPSMI will produce more intelligent people in all the three subjects, which are mathematics, science, and English. After hearing the benefits of PPSMI, now let's move to the disadvantage of PPSMI. First, the disadvantage of PPSMI is the students' level of achievement will drop. This is because of the students are only capable to learn English, but because of PPSMI, they need to learn maths and science in English too. Next, the issue of poor English will not be resolved by implementing the PPSMI policy. This is because of the teaching method and when bahasa Melayu in science and mathematics in English. In addition, reintroduction of PPSMI reintroduction of PPSMI will cost billions of ringgit. This is because when we need to change the syllabus, we need to change the system, to change the format of the examination, all of that, and it's really cost of billions of ringgit. Okay. The fourth disadvantage of PPSMI is the spirit of interracial harmony was shattered to the degree where it had huge impact on Malaysia, a country and state. Based on some research that had been done, with English subject being used in teaching and learning for the subjects of mathematics and science, feared that it will cause the spirit of unity between the races to be destroyed. My respectable people, we all now have come to the end of the presentation. We can conclude that PPSMI gives incredible story towards our education system. After all the research and news, PPSMI known with more disadvantage than the benefits. But for me, if it's his way, PPSMI will give more benefits to our country and education system. May I know your thought on this? Do you want to reconsider to PPMSI to make a comeback, or do you want PPMSI to abolish? Thank you everyone. Bye.